Hey there, this is Catalin, and in this video I want to talk about what makes people buy and how you can actually take those things and make people buy whatever it is you're selling. So here's the thing. I've been fortunate enough to work with like amazing companies, amazing brands worldwide. Either that could be like big brands or e-commerce brands or physical businesses, brick and mortar businesses that don't sell online but have all their facilities offline. We've been working with a lot of different clients, and what we've seen, and this is something that I've really learned a while back, and I've learned from a lot of books and a lot of trial and error and experimentation, is spending deep amounts of money on ads, right? Either that could be like Facebook ads or Twitter ads or YouTube ads or content generation or whatever it is. And this is kind of the things I've kind of end up with. And if you want to sell anything to anyone, if you really want to create an offer that will make people buy and stick with what you're selling, there's three really important things that you should know and you should implement in your marketing efforts in order to make them worthwhile and to actually make people buy what you're selling, right? And by the way, you can really implement these in whatever it is you're doing, and you can implement these to actually motivate yourself in your life. So they're really, really interesting. All these three things are based on something that's called in psychology a bias, right? A cognitive bias. And what that is, essentially, is these biases in our brains are like shortcuts that we've developed in time in order to actually make decisions faster. And these biases have developed because they have served us in the past. For example, something that kind of a shortcut we have in our brain is the fact that we usually fear heights, right? And that is because there's a logical sense behind it, right? You sure fear heights because 2,000 years ago, if you were on a tree and it was like 100, 230, 300 feet above the ground, you should fear that because you could drop off and die. So that makes sense. So these kind of biases, shortcuts developed in our brain in order to serve us and to keep us safe and to keep us survive. So without further ado, let's actually get into this thing. So the first thing you need to know, number one thing you need to know when you're crafting an offer, when you're selling anything to anyone, when you're trying to make a sales letter, when you're trying to make an ad, when you're trying to do anything that its purpose has to serve other people and to make them buy or take an action into what you're doing, is clarity. And this is something actually based on science. Most people do not use a lot of glucose in their brain. Here's what this means. This doesn't mean people are stupid. It just means that now, because there's a lot of information out there and there's tons and tons of things that are happening everywhere and the attention span is shortening, people will not be willing to think for you. You have to think for them. Here's what this means. For example, you want to promote an event that you have, and you just write on a page or an ad or whatever it is you're doing. You just write, "Oh, check this event. It's on February 1st. Da 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 da." Like, that's not clear. A clear message would be something like, "Hey there, entrepreneur. I have this event that's for entrepreneurs. If you want to grow your business or meet fellow entrepreneurs, it's $1,000. It's gonna be on February 9th. It's gonna be at the Ritz in Los Angeles, and it's gonna be about this, and this. Here are the benefits. This, and this. Here's why you should come. This, and this. Here's how you pay. Here's how you join. Here's who's gonna speak." Like, that's a clear message, right? And this is like, in generally speaking, what you want to do. If you see billboards all around, and it's like Furniture, the best ever. Okay, that's awesome. But like, like, what do I do, right? Like, okay, I see that ad, I see that billboard, whatever it is. What do I do now? Crickets, right? Because it's not clear. A clear message would be like, the best modern furniture that man has ever seen. Check it out here. And for February 1st till February 9th, we have 10% off. Redeem your discount using this code at this website here. Enjoy. That's different. It may not be the best offer ever, but it's different. At least you understand what it is and what you need to do about it. So generally speaking, the first tip is that you actually, whatever it is you're doing, either this could be like a one-on-one sales situation or like whatever it is, you have to make your message and your offer really clear for people. What it is that you want to sell to them, what it is that's benefiting them, why they should buy it, how they buy it, what's the next steps. Clear, right? Because this way you're gonna think for them and they don't have to think for you, right? Like it's odd. How would it be for like a constructor for like the architect that designed the building to come to the constructor and be like, we have to like design this building and it's gonna be like modern and all this stuff. Like that's not clear. What architects do is like, here's the design, here's where the windows are, here's how it is, here's the colors of the walls, here's the, you know what I mean? So make your messages clear in general. And this matters in life too. If you want somebody to follow you or to listen to whatever it is you're saying, make your messages really, really clear. Otherwise, confused people do not buy, okay? So make sure they are not confused. Tip number 2, and this is something that's really interesting, it's social proof. Here's the backing. If you want to sell anything to anyone, if you have a social media campaign, right? Like our agency, Increase Media, does a lot of social media campaigns, right? If you have a product or offer or a sale you want to run or whatever it is you're doing, you gotta emphasize the social proof aspect of it, which means that you gotta show people that have either bought or have used or they are endorsing your products, right? And the more authentic and the more you can show actual people like the one you're looking for to get as proof, the more you're gonna get people to buy your products. Check out Amazon. Like the reason Amazon is actually such a good place to buy stuff is because you have all those reviews. And people actually like, when I go to the supermarket and I'm in the US, like I'll go and scan the barcode of something and check out the reviews of it, right? Because I don't have time to actually read all the details and make sure everything is perfect. So if other people have tested it before me, thank you. I'm gonna take your word for it. And there's enough people that have done something that I wanna do, I'm gonna take their word for it because I don't have time to actually go and research 2,000 pages to find out everything about a product and make a logical decision, right? So considering that, you need to add into your marketing efforts. You need to retarget people on Facebook with testimonials of your product. Here's an example. Here's some practicality to this. So if you're working on social media, right? If you're doing like a social media campaign and you have like 1,000 people that have visited your offer, but none of them and have not purchased or whatever it is, have not bought your product, you can retarget them with your video testimonial of other people that have tested that product, have good things to say about it, right? Like people will react to that. And let me just, before I get to the third one, the reason why people react to this, is because we as human beings, we are social creatures, right? And the social proof thing is actually a social proof bias that we have in our brains. We are more likely, we have a big tendency to respond to what other people have done, right? And like this is really true, right? I don't even have to tell you the science of it, but like people do have this like cheap mind to each other. And it's good sometimes and it's bad sometimes, but that's what we have, right? And that's why we develop such big brains, because, I mean, there's a lot of theories to this, but a lot of people, a lot of scientists and researchers say that the reason actually we have such big brains is because we're using them to actually interact with people and to develop these relationships with other people, for which we need these big brains. We need brains to read social clues. We need big brains to have empathy and to be able to communicate properly and persuade and adjust to other people's emotions and all that stuff. So this is the second one, social proof. Really, really important. Whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever it is you're trying to communicate or get the message out there, or whatever it is you're trying to do, this works with anything, you need to embed social proof into it. Here's like a basic example. Hey, what's up? I'm meeting with like 10 of my friends, and do you want to like join me to like, we're going to this restaurant, it's gonna be really cool. Like there's gonna be like 10 people out, 30 people as well there. Do you want to join? Like, because of the fact I said to you that there's gonna be other 10 people there, you're a lot more likely to say yes. Because like, oh, if 10 other people said yes, like why shouldn't I join, right? So that's really, really powerful, and you should really use this in your marketing efforts. And the third thing, and this is really, really cool, I really like this, and this is something that's not told a lot, it's risk reversal. And this is a concept that's based on deep psychology. For example, Sigmund Freud says that we as human beings, we are really, all of us literally are like wired to go away from pain and go towards pleasure. So what this means is that if you can take the risk out of any situation you're putting people in, they're going to be more likely for them to say yes rather than no. And that's kind of your job as a salesperson, as a marketer, as a CEO, as whatever it is you are, and you're trying to convey stuff to other people for which they have to say yes. Whatever that is, sales situation, a communication situation, an employee, whatever it is, you have to take the risk out of that situation for them in order to react. Here's an example. Let's just say I'm selling, let's just say we have a new client, right? Let's just say we have Nike that's coming to us, and we have arranged to sell them, to put together a client package for them, and it's gonna be, let's just say, $1 million a month, right? Let's just say that. For them, it might not be the best example because they're not so inclined to like risk, because they're just such a big brand. But just go with me for a second. So one example would be, hey Nike, we have this client package we're gonna offer you. We're gonna offer you this, and this. It's gonna be $1 million a month, right? That's one situation. Then the second one is gonna be, hey Nike, we have this package that we put together for you. We're gonna offer you this, and this. It's gonna be $1 million a month. But for the first 30 days, we're gonna put everything together, and at the end of those 30 days, if you don't think this is worth it for you, or you haven't gotten the results that you want, or you don't see that this is actually valuable for you, we're not gonna charge you anything, and it's all good, right? So what I've done in that situation, even though like kind of for Nike doesn't really care about $1 million, but right, if we took the risk away from the situation, right, we have actually made that person, that company, that brand, whatever it is, a lot more likely to say yes. Because it also says about us that we deeply care about our product so much, and we are so confident in what we're doing that we're literally willing to give it away for free and charge you after only if you're satisfied, right? I've heard that there's some restaurants out there that you only pay if you're 100% satisfied, right? And I think that's funny. Like, it made you like realize, oh, this is interesting. And there's tons of things like refunds. For example, a lot of supermarkets, a lot of brands, a lot of people, when they're trying to market something, they're gonna offer refunds, right? Whatever we are putting together a marketing strategy for anything, we're gonna make sure it has 100% money get back guarantee, right? Of course, it depends on the product, the service, whatever it is. But most of the times you want to do that, because if people see that they can refund that product for 100% money back, like it makes them realize like it may actually be a great product, because otherwise you would not be giving 100% money back guarantee. So risk reversal is big. So just to recap, first one is clarity. You want to be clear in your messaging and in your efforts. Second one is social proof. And third one is, what's the third? Okay, risk reversal. So if you take these three and you implement them into your marketing, you're going to have killer results. Of course, they take a lot of practice to actually get down, but believe me, these are working. We have spent like probably 8 figures in ads, and we have seen that these things are working the best in your ads messaging, in your sales offer messaging, in your websites, whatever it is, you can implement this everywhere, right? With that being said, I hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. And let me know in the comments what it is that you're selling, what it is that you're doing, how this is helping you. Like, where are you actually, what situations are you in right now that you're thinking of using this, right? Like, I want to use this in a one-on-one sales situation, and tell me how you're going to change what you're doing, like 1 or 2 changes that you're going to do based on this information. That being said, thank you again so much for watching. This has been Catalin. I love you so much for watching these, and see you in the next ones. If you're still here, I just want to tell you the biggest secret ever. Are you ready? Next time, maybe. Just joking with you. Thank you so much for watching. You're awesome. But with that being said, I really have to go. I have a meeting in like 20 minutes. And yeah, I mean, you don't really care about that, right? Like, but this has been good stuff with the video, right? I mean, for real now. Like, okay, let's be honest. And oh, by the way, don't leave. Make sure you answer that question, right? I really want to hear your comments.